Yes, that's fine.
Okay. So what we did with all the country fora and with the regional fora, you are the first regional fora we are meeting now, is that we discussed a bit about the lessons learned from the past. When we say lessons learned, it's very broad. What, how did we behave? How did we perform? What should be improved? What can be done in future to make things better, and so on. So this is what we see by through this lessons learning. It's a very open discussion, maybe 10 to 15 minutes maximum, some key points. Then if the regional forum has a strategic plan, if we can just update AFAS Secretariat in few points, maybe again another 10 minutes about how the regional forum wants to move, and then we can talk more in details now about the work plan of the intent of the country fora and what is already also in preparation at the Secretariat. So this will take more of our time, the last part, but depending on the interest of the regional fora, of course, we can discuss more on the different topics. And these are just some proposition, so it's open to improvement if you have some additional topics, or if you think it can fit somewhere in one of these 3 points, then we can just include it there. So do we agree on this agenda? Do you have some
Yes.
other points you want to discuss about?
Well, I think for our own interest, given that we're relatively new, I think the last plan for the 2021 is of more importance to us. But I think this agenda is good. What do you think, Dembi?
Yeah, I'm fine with the 4 points to be discussed, proposed.
Okay, so maybe we can start with the first point then. My internet is not very stable sometimes, so I just disappeared for a while. Lessons learned from the previous year. So this is a very open question, and I'm collecting information, especially for the M&E unit who needs these lessons learned. It can be the process of implementation. It can be the plans or the plannings. It can be around the different topics that we work on at AFAS. But we would like to hear maybe in 10-15 minutes maximum about what are the lessons learned, the recommendations, or if you have also some critics or any information you want to transmit to our team, then this is the time to speak about it. So over to you, SARFAAS.
Yes, I was hoping Martin will be here. because he
Oh,
was more he was more involved than I was in the past. But perhaps Tembi, from her experience with her national forum, she could make some contribution.
yeah, it seems
Thanks.
Tembi is raising hand. Yeah,
Yes.
please go.
Th- Thanks, Chair. Okay, I think there's two specific points that come to mind to me. The first one is the need to have a strong CF as one of the RF members. To this, I wanted to specifically quote SARFAAS. SARFAAS, the past year really assisted us in terms of getting us registered as an entity, something that has plagued the fora for many years. So it's one thing that we are celebrating the fact that we are now a registered entity in Zambia through the assistance of SARFAAS, and that they are also hosting us. So that's one lesson. And the first lesson then for me is that you need to have at least a strong, country forum to get the work of the regional fora going. The second one is the challenges. I'm not too sure what lesson I can draw from that, but I wanted to specifically talk about the issues with the account, for example, establishing an account. So I'm not too sure what recommendation that we can draw from that. Perhaps in terms of AFAS, it might be helpful to have guidelines that the regional for country fora could utilize in terms of overcoming the administrative and logistical obstacles with regard to such, taking care of such administrative issues. So perhaps that may be my recommendation. And then lastly, I was quite disappointed. Actually, we were, as the forum, quite disappointed that we didn't get the funding from GIFRAS, and specifically, what I would recommend is that in case such happens, because we applied through the assistance of AFAS. So my recommendation is that there be communication to say your application was not successful because of ABCD, so that we would know where to improve in the future should we then, write such proposals again. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, those were good points. And especially regarding the results of our application to GFRS. I did ask what were the setbacks, why were we not selected? And I never got a response from GFRS on that. And yes, I think we need a stronger support from AFAS. But as regarding a strong CF member, I think SARFAAS needs support from AFAS as well, because I was looking at the distribution list of communication with CFs, communication from AFAS, and I do not see SARFAAS on the list. I do not see Zambia, I do not see Zimbabwe. And I was wondering what was the problem. So maybe these are things we can ask AFAS, because they are strong CFs, Zimbabwe and Zambia. I only see Malawi, and South Africa.
Yeah.
So this is something we need to, that needs improvement.
Okay. So I
And
think this
regarding
is.
our bank accounts, the process is on the way. We had a small hitch because we needed to submit the minutes of the meeting to indicate who was appointed accountant. And we have also paid the consultant who is doing it. So there's been progress on that side now.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, it seems to me that um, SARFAAS is progressing, but because we are at the beginning, we are also still struggling a little bit, and also that we don't have a functional secretariat, or at least even a communication person. So we have a secretary, but I think we really need also someone who is focusing more on communication, who will facilitate the networking and the exchanges between the different SARFAAS countries. I fully agree that from AFAS secretarial level, sometimes we omit or we forget totally about some countries. In the reports, we see sometimes we see 20 countries supported, or country that are vibrant and so on. But when you go in detail, these countries you mentioned, like Zimbabwe or Zambia, they are like off radar. You don't see where they are exactly, what they are doing, and who is supporting them exactly. So I think one one lesson we can already start thinking of is we have to be more um, performant and uh, require more deliverables and results. I think that was stressed at during some of our meetings, that we need to be more deliverable and result oriented. And to make that happen, of course, we need resource. We need human resource, and we need the financial resource to support these people. So we should start with the human aspects, because um, I think there is not enough human power available actually at SARFAAS. There is a board, but a board is not supposed to be operational. Board is taking decisions and meeting from time to time. But for the daily operation, I think it's really important that we have something at SARFAAS. And the first profile I would highly recommend is that SARFAAS has CIKM, Communication and Information and Knowledge Management, because from my personal standpoint, this is the resource person that I can directly deal with and support through the AFAS, the CADEPEX before program. So I don't know how AFAS is going to do that. The SARFAS is going to do that recruitment and find the people soon, but I think it's really important.
Yeah. Good morning, Martin. How are you? Mhm.
Good morning, Martin.
Okay, regarding that point, Andre.
Yes.
Yes, we have identified someone, but as you know, one is dependent on the other. We are working. We're more or less volunteers,
Mm-hmm.
and so to get someone, we have to provide even a stipend, some kind of incentive for that person.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do it? Already, I think already we're in the red because we've spent money to pay the consultant, which SARFAAS also spent money paying the consultant. And we got the address, the web address working. So the financial part to incentivize this person, how do we go about that? One idea is to submit well, we did ask AFAS for assistance
Mm-hmm.
in one of the board meetings, and they said yes, they would give us assistance, but nothing has happened yet. So I think what you need to do is set up maybe just write a letter, give them a budget, and say, well, this is the kind of support we're looking for. For the CIKM, I believe we can apply for a grant for the CIKM. And I don't know if that's dependent on getting this, the manager, the coordinator to start working, or we can apply for the grant and then hire the coordinator. What is the modality?
Well, I think both of the solutions you suggested should work. You can just write a letter with the budget and send it directly to the secretariat, and then the secretariat will study how it's feasible. But I can't guarantee any any uh, any result on that, because the secretariat doesn't have core funding. Uh, all the funding at secretariat is project funds. It's not the kind of funding that can be used for operations and so on. Unfortunately, this is the case. AFAS is not an organization that can survive if there is no project. Um, so on the second point of yeah, proposing some budget just for some communication and knowledge management activities. That one you have received the PowerPoint. That is more tangible. I'm not saying that it will be exactly like that. You can maybe change some of the contents there, because that PowerPoint was designed with the country fora in mind. But for the regional forum, it's more of an oversight and coaching and backstopping. So the activities from there might be a bit different. Although for each budget item, we always need a deliverable. So that is something that the CIKM will be recruited has to think of and to have in mind, that any activity that will be undertaken by the CIKM at SARFAAS level must come, any disbursement must come with deliverables. Um, it can be, of course, something more theoretical, but more general, like reports and so on, or sometimes um, more practical, like some collection of stories or collection of video recordings from different countries and so on. So yeah, I think those two ideas can be explored, and this is yeah, I think in our agenda we should discuss about that and the activities itself. But there are a lot of activities that can be done and can be supported from the communication and the knowledge management unit. Now, for the other units, unfortunately, I don't know. You'll have also to discuss with the head of units. It was planned that we will be together today, of course, but during the week. But there are always some other priorities here and there. Some also doesn't have internet connections and so on. So I'm alone for now. Probably some will come later. But you'll have to discuss also with the different other head of units on the available support that can be done from their parts. We have the planning partnerships and unit, and we have also the capacity development advocacy unit. We have the monitoring evaluation unit. So these are the others that you can contact as well. But don't hesitate to write. If it's not written, of course, there's no there's no chance that something will happen. At least if you write something, some proposal, some request, at least there is something that has a process that has started. And as you said, you are expecting some feedback from time to time, but yeah, sometimes you don't receive these feedbacks.
In the meantime, shall I put
Yes.
this prospective person in contact with you so that you can explain things more clearly to him?
Yes, sure, absolutely. As long as the person is ready for, there is a period like you are doing today. You're doing some sacrifice, eh? You are putting your own money maybe on this launch of SARFAAS. That person also might at the beginning need to spend some time and discuss and then design the work plan, and only after some weeks or maybe months that that person will be incentivized with AFAS CADEPEX before program money. Also, you have to agree between the countries that this person is adequate for all the countries. I don't know. Yeah, maybe if there is a need to move from place to place sometimes for follow-ups, for trainings, is the location of the person adequate? And the language also, of course, is key. That must speak the at least the English language.
Yeah, the person, yeah, he speaks English. He's from Zimbabwe. He speaks English and Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can do in the meantime, because we're starting a project next week, and he's one of our consultants on the project.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can probably do is increase his honorarium and have him do this as on the sideline for me, and that should be possible because time is running out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
So maybe if you can start circulating his CV in among the group, so that others knows also the person, because yeah, it's always good that communication starts immediately with the person who is going to be in communication and knowledge management.
Yeah, we'll do that. We first pass it through you, have him talk with you, and then you explain things more clearly to him.
Mm-hmm.
and then we can work from there, because I'll be working directly with him next week. So
Okay.
we can coordinate.
What might also be helpful, Dr. Verona, is to share with the person the presentation, because it does stipulate what there's one slide that specifically stipulate what the deliverable expected deliverables are in terms of knowledge management. Although, as Andre is saying, it talks about a CF. So in our case, we're talking RF.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
Yeah. I think, yeah, let me just show that screen quickly. It can happen also that the person you recruit, that you recruit not only one person, but one person, one key coordinator or facilitator for the CIKM, and others who will support, will work with that one. Because as we mentioned, the competencies that we are looking for are media reporting, social media reporting, storytelling, and web development skills, digital communication skills, knowledge management, infographics, and multimedia. This is generally more specific, sensitization and training skills, and so on. And the availability, yeah, we thought of 4 full days per week, but that is not guaranteed that we'll find someone who will be paid with stipend and to do this work. At the country level, maybe, but with a regional responsibility, I don't think it will be possible. So yeah, that's one big progress.
What is this ISO 3041, Andre?
ISO 3401 is on knowledge management standard.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you follow the training on ISO? That was in February, I think.
No, I think our intern attended and I do recall that already our CIKM facilitator, already that time she was having the situation with her family. So I just need to check if our intern attended, but I'm talking from SARFAAS point of view.
Yes.
Because this year she actually has asked to be excused while she focuses on her studies also.
Okay, so Loki Tour, she won't be available this year, you mean?
Yes, she said this year she won't be available. She officially notified the CF that this year she won't be available. She needs to finish her PhD.
Okay.
That's a bummer for us.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah,
we can probably see how many of these skills Rodney can combine, because he has experience. Yeah. That's his profession. And for the others, we will have to look elsewhere, because right here in Mozambique, I don't think we can find people who are bilingual. So we would ask Tembi if you have someone to suggest, maybe SARFAAS, to see where we can source the other people.
So which area is the person more fluent on? Is it on communication, on knowledge management, on ICT?
ICT and media. And okay. I think there are three areas that he can handle.
Okay, yeah. I also know someone from Zimbabwe who has supported some of our activities at FARA. He's a journalist, so maybe that one also is good in knowledge management and communication. So maybe that one also can eventually collaborate with SARFAAS from time to time.
Yeah,
I
okay.
will send his CV.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so can we move to the next point? In fact, yeah, it doesn't have to be very linear, right? We are going from one point to the other, but maybe it's good for the AFA Secretariat to know more about the strategic plan of SARFAAS. I think you already have a strategic plan. If you can just summarize in 5-10 minutes, what are the main components or key areas of this strategic plan, and we'll see how there are synergy or alignment between the different strategic plan. Is that feasible though?
Well, right now, even though I put it together, I don't have it in my head right now. but but we had shared it with the draft. We had shared with AFAS, and what we needed to do is ratification by the general SARFAAS body. So what we can do is share it maybe and send it out to them to find out what they think about it.
Yeah. In fact, why we want to discuss and to see a bit more about the strategic plan of each country or region is to ensure that there are at least some areas of synergy and where we can put effort together. Because if we just dictate AFA's strategic plan with the CADEPEX P4 program components outputs, then it looks like a very top-down approach. But if we know some of the aspiration or visions of the country fora, the regional fora, it can then we can discuss more in a participatory way on how to be complementary, to complement each other. Sorry.
Can I do this over the weekend and do a resume and send it to you?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So how if we don't talk about the SARFAAS strategic plan, then even the work plan also won't make much sense. But let me share anyway what has been submitted to the different countries, and I'm not sure that SARFAAS and RESCAR has been involved in this process, because in I think it was in November or December last year, we wanted to know more about the work plan of each country for the next year. I think Tembi has seen this, huh?
Yes. But you also sent it to us, isn't it? Is that not the one you sent on the phone, on the WhatsApp, through WhatsApp?
Yeah.
It's not as detailed. It's not as detailed as this one.
Yeah. So this is the CADEPEX before frame that on which we can start planning our annual activity. Yeah? It has 4 components: the institutional and organizational strengthening, the development of capacities and scaling out technologies and innovation, partnership and engagement, then the policy advocacy and professionalization, and the strengthening and expanding network and knowledge management capacities, and finally the management and coordination and M&E. So you should be informed that the first output here, the first component here, is mainly managed by administration at SARFAAS. So it's ED directly with Kate and sometimes Max who are dealing with this one. So if you have something, you propose something related to this part, this output 1, the person you should contact are ED and Kate, essentially. Then for the output 2, developing capacities for scaling out technology, innovation, partnership, and engagement, the person who is dealing with that is Max. So it's Max unit, PPLS, partnership, planning, partnership, lessons learning, that deals with this one, output 2. For output 3, it's Samsung's unit on institutional capacity development unit that deals with policy advocacy and professionalization. And output 4 and a part of communication in output 5, I am responsible for it. So the knowledge management and networking and so on. And here we have some part coordinated again by Max, some part by Jerry on the M&E aspect, and me for the communication and ICTs. So this is how this work plan is structured. Normally, all the unit leaders should be discussing with you, but as I said, people are too busy sometimes, so I'm the only one with you today, but you can discuss with the others about their units. And I have proposed the work plan for output 4, so you can and you should react based on that. It was a proposition. It's something that is feasible for the countries, but for the regions, I don't know exactly if this is what you plan to do. We can discuss with the CIKM people that you will recruit, of course. So any reaction on that?
Okay, it's pretty clear, and we will work on it.
Yes, yes, we just need to work on it. I think the transition from the strat plan to the work plan would be helpful. Obviously, there'll be things that would be on the strat plan that are not necessarily, in this. So obviously, that implies that's a reason why you may have a number of donors or funders. While one covers one aspect, the other covers another.
Absolutely.
But yes, So I think we'll need to have a meeting then soon and work through that, at least from, for example, from SARFAAS, that's what we did. We had to hold a meeting and work through it and identify what is it that we could do in order to deliver on the plan and what aspects are relevant for us and then translate them into actual activities and plans.
Mm-hmm. And the formulation here is sometimes because this comes from the secretariat, so the formulation is more secretariat formulation, but you can innovate a little bit on how to really implement some of these activities. It's not as it doesn't have to be exactly like what is written there, although it has to contribute exactly to the same output and to the same um, deliverables that are expected. If we are expecting documents shared, then we need these documents. If we are expecting some statistics on peoples, then we need these statistics and so on. The way you'll do it can be different. It can be online, it can be through meetings, it can be through workshops, through trainings, and so on.
Yeah, I think we should discuss this at the next board meeting.
Yeah. Now, the other constraint, as you already know, is that the funding is limited for these activities, and even the CADEP XP4 program is supporting only 10 countries, mainly 10 or 11 countries for now, and we need to I don't know how SARFAAS will try to have more resource and more impact also on the other countries, because this source of funding are just calculated based on this the three countries that are supported directly, which is Malawi, South Africa, and Madagascar for now. Now, if you expand the activities, for sure you'll need more resource. If you want to have some trainings, let's say in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique, then you might need more resource and to share to these countries. So yeah, definitely there's a need to explore more the fundraising and
Yeah,
the
resource mobilization.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have
noted.
followed some of the announcements, the calls launched by SARFAAS, there is one call sent by the unit, Samsung's unit on gap assessment, on advocacy and resource mobilization. So there will be some work on that this year, a gap analysis, and then some trainings probably on resource mobilization. I believe online trainings can benefit for any country, of course. So you can just invite any country who are interested in that to participate. And by the way, any training that is online can be always for any country can benefit. There is no restriction. It's just that some country will receive some small support to connect and to gather and so on, and others will have to pay with their pocket.
That could actually work as an incentive to the other CFs in terms of the meeting that we a follow-up meeting from the CF one we had last time. So that might encourage CF to know that even if they are not right now currently in the CADAPEX P4 program, but they can still benefit.
Sure. But there's, in fact, SARFAAS, with all the talent that exists in the SARFAAS network, can organize any meeting, training, or virtual visits or exchanges. We don't need to wait always for CADAPEX P4 funds to do things. And I think that's why we need this guy who will be operational. Guy or lady, I don't know yet, who will be operational and can take some initiatives and bring the interest of countries in networking, in exchanging news, in showing what's happening here and there. So I think that is one of the key points from today. We need the team to be more operational. Then we also need to look at the strategic plan on how it's aligned with some of the activities initiated at AFAS level, and find some additional resource, work on the resource mobilization, and of course continue exploring how we can take new initiatives. It can be organized in a way that each country will showcase what's happening in the AES sector in their country. Maybe every month, one country or something like that. It just needs to be organized. Someone to initiate and to organize and to communicate, sensitize. These are kind of activities that can be done.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So are we done? Is there something
Yes,
else we can
yeah.
discuss
So
about?
basically, Chairperson, I think emanating from this is meeting, our own meeting. One to align to remind ourselves and conscientize ourselves with a straight plan, and then emanating from that, checking for alignment with the identified activities in the annual plan for the annual work plan for the CADAPEX P4.
Yeah, so we have a meeting coming up. Is it May 5th or May 12th?
Is that the board meeting or?
But yeah, the board meeting. But we can
Utilize that time, yeah.
yeah, or we can, if need be, we can call a meeting earlier.
Yeah. So maybe if you can share also the CV of that person, and we'll have a one-on-one discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see how we can.
Yeah. So if you can please send us, Andre, if you can send us the plan on email.
You mean the Excel that I
Yes.
just shared? Okay.
Yes, the Excel spreadsheet, yes.
Okay. But I think you already have it, but yeah, okay, I will send it.
Things get lost in the mail, Andy.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for your time, and
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for facilitating.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you can still make it to your flight in time, Dr. V.
Yeah. I have